Hi, and thank you for tuning in to the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth. We are continuing on the book of Psalms. Today, we're going to be focusing on Psalm 126. Now, what's been the case the last couple weeks is the Psalms are a little bit shorter. And so we actually have the opportunity to read the whole Psalm right here with you. And so if you want to read it ahead of time, awesome. Love that. But if you also, for time's sake, want to just read it along with us and then maybe go over it a little slower on your own, that works as well. But we're going to read one a day, and just to be an encouragement and a challenge, maybe give a little insight, but also give you some things to ponder and pray about. But let's go ahead and jump right in. Psalm 126, beginning in verse 1, says this: When the Lord brought back his exiles to Jerusalem, it was like a dream. We were filled with laughter and we sang for joy, and the other nations said, What amazing things the Lord has done for them. Yes, the Lord has done amazing things for us. What joy. Let's just pause there. This reminds me so much of a testimony, right? It's like people are noticing what God has done. Their life has become a testimony of God's goodness. Now, what is this referring to? This would be the children of Israel. It's referring to things that have happened previously in the Bible. The exile, they were in captivity for many years, and how they were wandering around away from their homeland and went through a lot of struggle and persecution. And yet God remained faithful. And this psalm is really a representation of now they're coming back to Israel. And they're just excited about God rebuilding and renewing and restoring things in their life, which we'll get to on the second half of the psalm. But what I want to mention here is how other people took notice. Their life became that testimony of what God had done. And that's so interesting because right now, just yesterday, we began a series at Shrewsbury Assembly called This Is My Testimony, where Pastor Nabil or myself will be sharing testimonies from the Word of God, what God has done in people's lives. But we'll also get to hear testimonies from people within our congregation where they say, hey, let me just share a portion of my life and let you see what God did with me. And then we're all just challenged to think about and pray about what God could do in his power in our own lives. And so it's a really beautiful thing to focus on a testimony. And that's what I see here is that they're saying, our life has become a testimony of God's goodness. But now let's continue on beginning in verse 4. It says, Restore our fortunes, Lord, as streams renew the desert. Those who plant in tears will harvest with shouts of joy. They weep as they go to plant their seed, but they sing as they return with the harvest. And this reminds us that they could sit and focus on all the things that they lost, all the things that had been destroyed, all the things that had been taken from them. And the list would have been long. But now they're recognizing and they're in a season of seeing God rebuild, restore, and renew what had been lost. I just want to encourage you that that is part of our testimony. You see, sometimes it's the hardest moments in our life, the moments that cause pain, the moments that cause fear and grief, that in those moments, even through tears, as we just read, God is doing something big. Even the greatest forest that burns down, it will regrow. Even a broken bone, it will heal. Even grief and sorrow can be restored to joy. God can do incredible things in your life. And so take some time today and maybe kind of discern where you're at. What season of life are you in? Are you still feeling like you're in a season of exile and captivity? Are you in a season where you're out of that, but now you're like, what do I have? Or are you in a season of you seeing God replant and the harvest is coming? No matter what portion of the story of your testimony you're in, take hope in the fact that God is in control, that he is moving, that he is capable to rebuild anything that has been broken. Hey, I want to thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope to see you again tomorrow for another daily dose for spiritual growth.